all love Netflix. Binge-watching a killer series? Guilty. Binge-watching a mediocre 2-star series? Also guilty. You learn from Netflix, relax, and de-stress. Yeah, we all know we shouldn't binge, but a little Netflix goes a long way. Then again, we have the eternal argument that things aren't how they used to be. Everyone is cooped up nowadays. But is going outside really all that important? Most of us have to be indoors for work or studies, and there's only so much you can do outside, especially if you live in a cold or rainy area. So here we are, nature versus Netflix. Only one extends your life. Let's find out which one it really is and why. Number 1, mental damage versus sun damage. Google screen time or watching TV, and you'll instantly get a dozen articles that include the words too much. We hear about too much television and too much screen time almost weekly. And it's the truth. Experts say we shouldn't spend more than 2 hours outside of work looking at a screen. Since most of us will spend that on our phones, it doesn't leave much room for watching Netflix or TV. Now, let's Google spending time outside. All of the first dozen or even dozens of articles are going to be about the benefits of being outside and the activities you can enjoy there. It isn't just an algorithm or a coincidence. Let's check out the cons list for both. Too much screen time on Netflix is associated with obesity, sleep problems, depression, anxiety, and lower test scores for children. Too much time outside is associated with skin damage if you do not wear SPF in the sun. If you live in a highly contaminated area, it could also be associated with respiratory issues, but that isn't the case for most of us. What it comes down to is mental damage versus skin damage. Both can be countered, although one more easily than others, in my opinion. Take it for what it's worth and let me know your thoughts on this in the comments. Number 2, sedentary versus active. I'm going to invent a statistic and guess that 9 out of every 10 people watch TV while sitting or lying down. I'm probably being gracious in saying that one person is exercising or moving around as they watch their show. It's just how Netflix and TV work. TV became a household item around the 50s. In 1946, there were only 8,000 American households with televisions, but by 1960, over 45 million had them. Today, over 96% of homes have a TV. To give you another comparison, from 1960 to now, obesity has more than tripled. Coincidence? Probably not. We are spending more time sitting than ever. Sitting isn't the only thing that's bumping up the obesity rates. Check out another video we made called "That New Diet Will Likely Kill You" to learn some more shocking health facts today. Now, say you're outside. You might sit on a bench or admire the environment, but you'll probably end up walking somewhere. Around a park, on a beach, to explore. You may bike, run, or play a game. Maybe you'll fish or spend time swimming. Being outside is a blank canvas with hundreds of options if the weather is right. If you live somewhere rainy or cold, you may feel more limited, and that's understandable. Even so, it's no rocket science. Being outside will have you more active than watching Netflix in your home. Why does this matter? Well, the health benefits, of course. According to a literature review published by the National Library of Medicine, physically active individuals decrease their mortality by about 30 to 35%. That's a whole lot of extra life in there. Number 3, relaxing versus stimulating. Most of us watch TV to disconnect from the stressors of real life and finally relax for once, am I right? The issue is that we may not be relaxing as much as we think. Our brains emit different waves. Beta waves are when our mind is focused on a task, and alpha waves are when we are relaxed and our brains are free to wander. Alpha waves are especially important to process information, store memories, and make new connections for new ideas. Funnily enough, light exercise like walking outside has been connected to releasing alpha waves. Even though you're moving, your brain feels freed up enough to process and brainstorm. With TV, though, it's a little trickier. Neuroscientists have shown that our brain splits when we watch TV. We are highly stimulated, but the analysis part of our brain, called the neocortex, turns off, so we can't process everything we're taking in. You're also often hooked on the endorphins of watching the next episode, as a temporary distraction from what's going on in your life. And it goes without saying that what kinds of shows you watch will also affect your mental health and thoughts, for better or for worse. Is it truly benefiting you in the long run? I'll leave that up to you. Number 4, how both affect sleep. Melatonin is the hormone we need to sleep. It signals to our bodies that it's time to rest and recover. Any device that emits blue light, like your Netflix screen, can reduce the amount of melatonin in your body. Your brain registers it as light and can't tell if it's daylight or another light. It just knows that it's too light to sleep. Doctors recommend turning off your screen at least an hour before bed, but there's no recommendation for when to come inside before bed. That's because being outside is more likely to tire you out for a good night's rest in the first place. Very black and white here. Nature wins for number 4. Number 5, hours spent. The average American home has the TV on for over 6 hours a day. The average American person will watch over 9 years of total television by the time they retire at age 65. 9 years! If that doesn't blow your mind, no stat will. In comparison, most Americans will spend 93% of their life indoors, which would equal about 4.5 years outside total by the time they're 65. That's only half of the time spent watching TV. And that doesn't even count the time you spend on your phone or computer at work. 9 years staring at the big red N. Only 4.5 in the sun, on the mountains, feeling the breeze, or enjoying the park. It's something to think about. Nature versus Netflix. Only nature will extend your life. Too much Netflix could shorten it. You need to choose one or the other? Definitely not, but the scale shouldn't be equal. You only have one life. Don't forget that. As always, thanks for watching.